Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Michi Makes Up. Better late than never, I have Patrick Ta's Major Dimensions 2 palette with me today that I'd like to swatch, demo, and do some cross-brand comparisons with you guys. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love mauve, purple, rosy, like all of those shades I love. In fact, I have a video on ranking my palettes that have similar color stories to this. And so when I saw it, I immediately grabbed my attention. I was kind of shuffling my feet and not sure if I wanted to get this. And then I saw my friend Maria on Instagram who picked up this palette and she was doing swatches on it and just showing this alone. I was like, oh, I really need that. So I picked it up during the Sephora VIB event, and I know that was a long time ago. So it's been sitting here since it arrived, and I just haven't gotten a chance to get into it. There were so many other videos that I wanted to do for you guys, but now we're finally here. I'm so happy. I'm grateful for the opportunity and time and energy that I have. So let's get right into it. I think if you guys have been following Patrick Ta's makeup or other beauty content creators, you must have already saw videos on this. So I'm just gonna get straight into swatches, and then we'll create two different eye looks that hopefully takes advantage of these two cream shadows. I think what I'm going to do is use these cream shadows as base, so one for each eye, but we'll see how it goes because I think you can certainly use this cream shadow and then this in the outer corner, or anything to help you build dimension. So not limited to just using one over the other, but yeah, let's get into the swatches. I'm going to start with the creams first. It feels very emollient and buildable, easily diffusible to the touch. So these are the two creams, and I'm just going to go over once more like that. Then I'm going to go into all the matte shades on the bottom row, followed by the metallic shades on the upper row. This is my first Patrick Ta product, and so everything is a first impressions for me. First time going in to swatch these shadows as well. Mattes feel very creamy. This one is skipping a bit, so I wonder how it's going to work out on the lid. But so far, the other shades look good. They feel very creamy. And looks like they have at least good stain power once they're on the skin. That's what it feels like. Here are the metallics. And of all the metallics, this one is the most pigmented. You can certainly get a very smoky look, smoky gunmetal look out of it. And I think as we get to the other ones, they're more like lid toppers. Last metallic shade at the very end of the palette. Look at that, so beautiful. These are all my shades. These are the type of shades or colors that really catch my eye, really get my attention. There's so much going on in this palette, but yet I feel like it has everything. I get Natasha Denona vibes, Pat Mcgrath vibes, some Byredo palettes that I have. So overall, just really great vibes from this. Let me go right ahead and create a look on my right eye. I'm first going into this mauve cream shadow here, and I'm going to use it as a base on the right eye. The brush I'm using is from the brand Units. I got it from Beautylicious 2022 Lucky Bag, and these brushes are made up of synthetic fibers, so I thought it'd be perfect for this cream product here. A little bit of this cream product goes a long way, so I'm just treading carefully, very carefully. So the cream product that I just used is called Adore. The next shade I'm going to go into is called Passion. I'm placing this just right here from the inner corner and towards the center of the lid. I'm also moving some of that product further up, but stopping short of where the crease is. I'm taking the worker brush here from Sonia G's Lotus set, and I'm blending this further into the lid. Next, taking the shade Devotion, I'm putting that onto the outer corner. I'm also going to blend this outwards some more and to diffuse it. Tapping into Devotion once more here, and I'm just gonna get off excess because I'm not trying to deepen it too much. Just trying to fill in some gaps. Taking Unfaithful, I am putting that into the crease. I'm tapping into Loyal and popping that right above the lash line in the center and towards the inner corner. Then I'm taking Affair, also with a finger, and doing the same thing here, but above Loyal and just on the center of the lid. And for the lower lash line, I'm going to take the shade Heartache and we'll smoke it out. Moving on to the left eye, I'm taking Crush and putting that onto the outer corner. Next, using Romance, I'm adding that to the outer corner as well. And then working some of that towards the middle of the lid. We're going to blend out this product and diffuse. I'm taking Passion again and placing that onto the inner corner and working it towards the middle of the lid. Just going to diffuse that some more into the crease so there's less of a harsh line. We're going to go back in with a lighter shade to further help with that, but just do some diffusing first. Taking the shade again, I am placing that into the crease. Going into Desire up here, I am going to place that onto the center of the lid. This is definitely an evening look, and I'm tempted to go back for a second application because it's calling to me. For the lower lash line, let's go for Drama. I am taking this cream shade here and the pencil brush and lining the lower lash line. And then I'm going to top that with a lighter shade to set it. And then taking this really light shade here, I'm putting that onto the inner corner. I'm interested in doing a wing look on both sides actually because I just want to do something dramatic. I'm in the mood for it. So let me get that on both eyes. I'll do mascara, we'll come back for blush, lips, and all the other good stuff. For blush, I'm using Victoria Beckham's Roller Skate. Something bright and fun to go with this dramatic look. For lips, I'm going to use Chanel's Listerelle lipstick in shade 112. For highlighter, I'm taking Pat McGrath's Ultra Glow Highlighter in the shade Divine Rose. This is the finished look on both eyes. On the right side, I went with something that is pinkier, mauve-y, and because this top row here, these are so beautiful. These lid toppers, metallics, duochromes, glitters. I couldn't help it but go into two of them. And it is a little bit too sparkly for like a daytime office look. However, if I went a little bit lighter, I would still wear this for the office, even with this light under eye smoke. I think it's very pretty. The cream shadows definitely helped build this look and give it more dimension in an effortless way. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then on the left eye, I went full glam, full drama. The only thing I'm missing is a pair of false lashes. If I am wearing this look out in the evening, so not for the video, not for a demo, if I'm wearing this out, I am definitely gonna put on some false lashes. It just screams for it, calls for it, very appropriate. So about the cream shadows, yes, Patrick Ta himself said that, especially on red carpet with all the flashing lights and spotlights, when you have a cream product and you mix it in with powder, or you do the cream product and you layer on the powder products on top, it actually gives you, it makes the eyeshadow look richer. I would agree with that. And it really gave me more dimension that I otherwise wouldn't get or have to put more effort into if I were to just use powder products. Interestingly, during my modeling days where I did work with a lot of professional makeup artists, and that was a long time ago, we never actually did cream products on the lids and then put on powder. It was more the face, especially the cheeks. We would use a cream cheek product and then put powder on top, like powdered blush, to give you more dimension. To either give you like a glow within flush and then just added even a bit more pigment on top. So it's interesting that I never thought that, well, what works for your cheeks could possibly work for your eyes too, but it is awesome that he came out with this. Fantastic. I love this, and also this here to protect it from these powders. As for the quality of the shadows, the creams, I think they're great. A little bit does go a long ways, and you don't really need, I mean, I think I went in too much in the beginning, especially with this, thinking it's a lighter shade. You don't need a lot of it. The lid toppers, the metallics here are I think easy to work with. If you have a cream base, it's gonna adhere a little bit better. That's what I felt when I kind of put it on. Although I did have a little bit of fallout right here. I think that's mostly from my finger touching this area, and inevitably some got on here. Otherwise, just the first like 10 minutes after completing this look, I don't have any fallout on my cheeks. The matte products, creamy, they can get a little bit powdery, or you can get excess product coming off. So I don't think you need to really go in with too much pressure. I tend to do that because I'll go over to the tissue and dab off excess, but you can probably do a little bit lighter hand and still get good product. In terms of how to pack it on, how it feels, the layering, diffusing, I didn't have any issues. I do think that the cream grabs onto the powders, and you do, depending on how much you put on, you might need to put a little bit more effort into blending and diffusing. I had a few of those moments and I got kind of worried. I'm like, maybe I have to go in with a Q-tip to fix it, but I didn't have to. Once I took a heavier duty brush for blending, these two here, these two best buddies, I didn't really have any issues, so it all really worked out. And even though there were a few moments where I'm like, oh, this, you know, this could get kind of messy or skippy, it actually didn't, and I didn't have to go in with a Q-tip to do any fixes. If I do fixes with Q-tips, usually I include it in the video so you guys have an idea of like my experience as I'm doing this demo for you, especially for a review, first impressions, etc. Let's do some cross-brand comparisons. I pulled out 4 different palettes here. We won't swatch all the shadows from each one because we'll be here for a very long time. So I'm just gonna pick a few from each and hold up the palettes to compare. This is Natasha Denona's Lila palette. I think you guys know I was gonna take this out. And then this is Patrick Ta's. You can see with the mattes especially, there's definitely some similarities. So I'm going to take probably, let's say, 2 shades here. Amara and Cyclone stand out to me most. So this is Amara and this is Cyclone. I'm definitely getting vibes from this shade here. And then this one, not so much, maybe an in-between. I mean, that's a stretch though. This one, not so much, but these look like they could be part of the Patrick Ta Dimensions 2 family. And then we have the Viseart Midsummer Petite Pro palette. Not quite as many similarities, I think, namely because this palette doesn't have a lot of shimmers, glitter, dual chromes. We have 1, 2. This is more of a inner corner highlight. This dual chrome is beautiful, but I don't think it's too similar to anything on this palette. It's also a bit cooler overall than the Patrick Ta palette. So I'm actually not going to take anything from here to swatch and compare. Then we have the very legendary Divine Rose 1 palette. And let me hold up Patrick Ta. There's definitely similarities, but no one shade from Divine Rose is, I think, can be duped. Or the shade here that can be duped from this palette. I'll go ahead and swatch 2 shades anyway that I think could belong in this palette, just for fun. I'm gonna go with Extreme Mahogany and Rose Dusk. This is Extreme Mahogany and then Rose Dusk. Oh, gorgeous. Rose Dusk is so beautiful. I'm reminded how beautiful Divine Rose is. Gorgeous. Yep, they look like they belong. I mean, this one might be a little bit too brown leaning, but Rose Dusk for sure. The last palette we're going to compare against is Divine Rose 2 from Pat Mcgrath. Let me hold them up. I think we're getting a little bit further away. I want to compare against this shade here, which is Naked Blush, and then this one here, Divine Dusk. Naked Blush can be added to Major Dimensions 2 or take the place of a lighter shade from that palette. And then this is Divine Dusk. Yeah. Divine Dusk looks like it can be a nice little metallic addition. I don't think any one of these palettes here, you know, is even remotely close as a dupe of this palette, but I am curious if I took all of my purpley, mauve-y themed palettes I have in my collection, if I could almost dupe the Patrick Ta palette. However, it does not deter me from enjoying this palette. I love the looks that I got. I felt like certain parts of the experience, like building dimension, felt very effortless because of the cream shadows. And it was nice it was just a nice feeling to have the lid toppers and glitters adhere so nicely when I was tapping on with my finger. And it remains to be seen if there's going to be fallout as I wear this throughout the day. So I will include this in a future product update video. And I love to wear this again tomorrow. Also, really obsessed with this lip color from Chanel. It really pulled the look together. It added to the kind of rosiness, but just had enough beige and neutral in it to not add even more, because I used a pretty bright blush and the eyes themselves, I want them to stand out. So this is great, and it didn't wash me out, so I love that. Let me know below what you guys think of this palette. If you have it, if you've played with it, what are some other ways that you've used it that really surprised you? I'm curious if especially the shade here, I wonder if it could be used as a blush, like a very mauve blush. Maybe. Maybe a little bit too deep for my skin tone at the moment, but I'm curious. Thank you guys for watching. See you again very, very soon. I hope you're having a great week. Bye.